hope you have all been keeping well. What day is it? Wednesday, the 14th of April. Um, it has been a beautiful day here in Drogheda that I have been able to view through a window. I haven't been able to get out in it yet, so after I'm done here, I am definitely heading off to get out into that lovely weather. I love it. I love the sunny weather. It's fantastic. I hope you've all been keeping well. Thank you to those of you who commented on last week's Facebook Live and who gave feedback. Really, really appreciate it. It's lovely to get your guys' take on what we're talking about and how it can resonate and sit with you. I suppose one of the big things that is coming to me with a lot of the work I've been doing this week is very much around self-care and how important it is for us to look after ourselves as best as possible, because we spend so much time looking after everybody else and taking care of everybody else that it can be challenging at times for us when we're not making sure we're okay, or we're being maybe too harsh on ourselves. So it's important that we do give ourselves a break sometimes. If we shout, if we roar, if we say things we don't mean, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's about how we react to that. That's what's really, really important. So if you guys take anything away from today, even more so than the questions being answered, I hope it is going to be that it's all right to be a bit compassionate for yourself and give yourself a wee break when it comes to being a parent, because you're just doing the best job that you can. You're not intentionally messing up your kids, I hope. So we've a couple of questions today that we'll get into shortly. I suppose, as always, thank you to everyone who supported the Patreon page, patreon.com/Aladonu podcasts. Really, really appreciate it. And for those of you who have been sharing the podcasts and the videos, thank you very much. It makes our hearts happy. So we really appreciate it. So today, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to really tell you about. As always, the online school is still available. Oh, the second book, aiming for summertime for the launch of that. So, but I'm hoping in the next kind of 6 weeks to be able to pop up a pre-order thing, where you can get your order in early to confirm. So that's coming. I knew there was something today that I wanted to kind of talk to you about. Yeah, so book 2 is coming this summer. We're getting closer. My poor editor is having to do a lot of work. You know, that's what you get when you hang out with Alan. What can you say? So yeah, that's definitely going to be coming in summer, which is really exciting. Our online school, yes, head over to the online school. Everything is still free. Sorry, not everything's free. The parenting in a pandemic is still free and will remain free, and the others are staying reduced. All right, let's get into today's questions. I have 2 daughters and a son, and I think on the whole we all coped with the lockdown really, really well. We didn't kill each other too much, and we managed the schooling from home pretty well too. The reason I'm getting in touch is that all 3 of my kids are teenagers, and while they were around the house, I tried to keep the peace, but one thing I discovered bugged the ever-living hell out of me. None of them, and I mean none of them, ever changed the toilet roll in any of the toilets. Now, I know everyone will say that if that's all I have to complain about, that I've had it easy, and that's the reason I didn't lose it with my kids. But since they've gone back to school, they're still doing it, and it's literally driving me bananas. They leave 2 or 3 sheets on the roll, not enough for the next person, and don't change it. I decided to say it nicely, so what they started doing was still leave the 2 or 3 sheets on the roll, on the holder, but to their credit, put another roll in the bathroom, but would start using the new roll and not put it on the holder. I know it's stupid, and I know it's tiny in the big scheme of things, but what can I do just to get them to do something so simple. That would drive you nuts, wouldn't it? So here we have a parent who knows that, they've handled the lockdowns pretty well. Their kids have handled the lockdowns pretty well. Homeschool has gone as well as it could go. And all of a sudden, the little irritants. Now, I'm sure we can all relate to that. Those little annoyances that maybe partners, or, even if you're not a parent, but you are locked down with your parents or your siblings, those little things that you could normally kind of not even notice or see past, all of a sudden amplified because you were locked down, you were living in the same rooms together all day, every day. So it was nice to get this question because it's light-hearted. It was nice to get this question because it's not a major issue, but it's really important. And the reason it's really important is because it highlights that it's the little things that all build up, usually, to cause us to be so frustrated. But they're the little things, or because of the little things, they're not the things that we will go and talk to other people about necessarily, or we won't bring up with friends or email about, because they seem so minuscule. They seem as if I really shouldn't be getting annoyed about this because, my kids are healthy, I'm healthy, everybody's happy. But they do annoy us. And as those little things build up and build up and build up and build up, those are times then when someone, leaves the toilet roll on the toilet holder, and you lose it. So here we have a mum who's saying, I don't want to lose it over stuff like this, but it's annoying me. And she did say it, obviously calmly enough, I'm going to assume, and she got progress, but still not to the level that she was hoping for. So what I'd say to you is, sometimes we have to hold our kids' hands to show them what we mean by clean, tidy, what the job is that we need them to do. So, you may have a child who never keeps the room clean, and then when they clean the room, they stuff everything under the bed, or they turn around and they push everything into the wardrobe. And you walk in and you're like, this isn't clean. To them it is. So we need to try and teach our kids what clean, or what the issue is to us. So you may need to individually take each of your kids by the hand, lovingly, put an arm around them. I love you so much. But you see this? If this doesn't change, I'm going to kill you. Maybe you don't have to tell me you're going to kill them. But take them by the hand and show them, this is what we need you to do. And this is so small. I don't want to have to be given consequences for this because it is so minor. It's such a simple thing. But if this continues on, we will be introducing consequences. And yes, I may not know who was the last one to do it, but we'll deal with that. And there may be consequences for everybody if there needs to be consequences. And hopefully that will be enough. Now, you might have a kid who goes, let's try and find out if there is actually going to be consequences. And maybe you have to follow through. And you might feel like shit having to do it because, you don't want to be given consequences over a toilet roll, but maybe you just need to do it once for them to get it. But thank you so much, because without questions like this, we wouldn't fully be able to delve into the fact that it is the little annoyances that build up. Because if something big happened, like if your child got arrested or arrived home and they're pregnant, like that's a big thing to have to deal with, but you're going to deal with it. And it's something that you'll probably go and look for help and look for support around, because it is a big thing. But it's those little things that just niggle away at us and just tap away at us, that when we get tired, when we get stressed, can seem amplified and much harder to deal with, where you do lose it over the toilet roll and you're kind of going, why can you not just do something so simple? So try and nip it in the bud. You've took it one step and your kids have responded. Maybe not the way you expected or hoped, but just do the next step and they may respond to that relatively quickly, because they don't want to lose their phone, they don't want to lose their screen time, they don't want to lose their laptop, whatever it might be. So give it a go and see how you get on with that. Right, I need a wee drink of water. Hello, Jennifer. I hope you're well. It's good to see you this evening. I'm having a nice week. I am, yes. And you enjoyed the second part of the podcast with Mary. Thank you very much. Yeah, guys, I hope you are all getting something from the podcast. And if there are topics you'd like us to discuss, just let us know. Drop us an email, drop us a comment. That'd be fantastic. Okay, my children have gone back to school this week. And I have to admit, I'm so relieved. I feel like I can breathe again and get my house back. I loved having them around, and we did things we never would have got the opportunity to do, ever. But I am so glad they are gone back. It's not that they were trouble really, but I was constantly aware of them being around and felt like I had to be ready for everything. So I'm thoroughly enjoying the fact that they are back in school. I think this mum is happy that our kids are back at school. The problem is, it hit me today that in a few weeks they're off for the whole summer. There's no break, and I'm not sure how to deal with it. They definitely had much more screen time over the lockdown, but I don't want that to become the norm in the summer. It's just too long. Have you any simple tips on how I can prepare for the summer so that I feel calm and not uptight for the whole time that they are off? Yeah, so you've done... Oh, Paul, good to see you. Sorry, guys. Paul from Seattle. Myself and Paul used to play football together, and he's one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. Paul, thanks for tuning in. So, back to the question. Parents all over the place are feeling relieved. One, they're feeling relieved because their children are getting back in interaction with real teachers in real time, face to face. They're relieved that their children are back interacting with their friends, which is really, really important. And the relief because they're getting their houses back, and so it's like it's a step back towards some sort of normality. And look, parents have done the best that they can during this whole lockdown, and it has been very tough for a lot of people at times. So it's okay for you to be relieved that they're gone back to school. That it doesn't mean you don't love your kids, but we're not meant to be stuck together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And normally, in normal years, when it comes to school holidays, we have been apart for so long that parents can kind of go, okay, I can handle the summer holidays because we all need a break and it's going to be nice to have a change in routine. But the kids have just gone back to school now, and they're going to be off in 5-6 weeks, again, in secondary school here. So I know a lot of parents are, or have, like this lady said, that there was more screen time because the kids couldn't go out. And there may be, in normal years, you would have different courses that they could go on or summer programs that they could do. There may not be those of the same availability, and they may be gone already. So you might not even get a chance to get your child up in them. So the first thing I say to you is, right, simple tips. Allow yourself to enjoy this week and even next week. Just enjoy the space and time that you have to not be aware of other people in your house. It's okay to enjoy it. And then you can start to think about, well, okay, I need to look at what are the limits I'm going to put in place for screen time, and start to make a little bit of a plan, but write it down, because so much of the time what we do is we think about the stuff and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and then it's gone into the back of your brain because you've got bills to worry about, you've got, everything, the running of a household, work, you've all this stuff that you have to think about, and it goes right back until it's boom right in your face, and you're going, oh crap, I didn't get this into place before where I wanted before they finished. So sit down and look at, okay, what are the realistic screen times that I'm going to have for my children? And that might be 5 hours a day, and you might be okay with that. All right, whatever it is right for you and your family, And if it turns out that your best friend says, I'd only let them have 2 hours, well, then that's fine for your friend. 5 hours is fine for you. But I would certainly look at planning it out. So that it's not just they get up, they pick up their phone as soon as they're up and they're on the phone watching TV or going on the laptop till 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe that's when they get up. Start to look at some sort of structure, because it's going to be important for you as much as them. It's going to be important for you to have some sort of structure, because you have to keep going. You have to keep working. You have to keep the house running. So look at a time, a reasonable time that they, are getting up by. Look at how long you're going to allow them on screens. Look at, is there local activities that they can take part in? Are they old enough to get a little part-time job? Now, that might be more challenging this summer because there may not be the availability, but is there opportunities for them to volunteer? And again, that may be difficult nowadays, given the restrictions, but they may be able to get involved in volunteering. You may look at saying, okay, well, you're going to go visit your grandparents twice a week and help them with the gardening or whatever. And then look at, are there things that I can get them to do around the house that we can pay them for? Do you need a fence painted? Do you need the grass cut? Do you need the cars washed? What are the things that they can do around the house? And then look at, and this can be the challenging one, because, especially in Ireland, the vaccine rollout has been relatively poor. We can feel nervous about letting our kids go spend time with their friends, but look at encouraging them to go and spend time with their friends. They need that interaction. They'll have spent the last 5 weeks engaging with their friends. Get them to keep going to do it. Now, they might go out and spend time with their friends and they're all sitting around looking at a phone and chatting on a phone. That's just normal for them. It's not the end of the world. They're still together. They're still getting out. They're still engaging with the world around them, but they're not under your feet. And you can name it with them. I am working. I have things that I need to get done during the day. I can't have you just sloping in to the kitchen at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock to grab your breakfast. Like, I have stuff that I need to get done. So this is almost like a hotel. Now, this may not be okay for you or right for you, but like, breakfast time is, between 8 and 11. And after 11 o'clock, you're not getting in to get breakfast, so you have to be up. And then get them up, get them working, get them doing things, help them find a job. Look at the practicalities of the screen time. Kick them out. Like, literally, kick them, get out. Go out, spend time with your friends. Arrange to meet somebody now, because you're not hanging around the house all day. Because the reality is, summer is, the weather should be better, hopefully. And they need to engage with other people. But the biggest tip I'm saying to you is write it down. Write down all the things that are concerning you. Write down all the things that you want to change or manage. Write down all the jobs that you can think of that need to be done. And you could be going, Alan, geez, the last thing I want to do is have to think about jobs for the kids to do during the summer. But it'll be worth it. And you don't have to have it all done in one go. You can write 2 or 3 as they come along, and then go away from it, and then write them down and the next one and go away from it, and write down the next one and go away from it. You have a bit of time to get the structure in place. And then at the start of the summer, you sit the kids down and say, okay, well done. Because acknowledgement, like I say all the time, acknowledgement is one of the most important things that humans need. Acknowledge, you've done really well going back to school. You've worked really well. I'm really impressed. Now it's time to switch off. But we have to have some sort of routine in this house in order for it to operate as well as it can operate. And explain it to them. And explain that, look, we don't want to get into arguments. We don't want to get into fights. I don't want to have to start giving consequences left, right and centre. You don't want me to be taking stuff off you or giving you extra stuff to do. So this is the plan of action, and this is how we're going to work it. Now, you don't have to have it rigid. Like, that's the great thing about the summer. You can have it relatively flexible. So, okay, you need to go and exercise. You need to go and, go visit your granny on a Tuesday, and you can do it between anytime in the afternoon, but you have to go and visit them in the afternoon. And then put that in action and think about the consequences. What are the consequences you're going to put in place if and probably when they do kind of push it? And then see how you get on. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you've all been keeping well. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Take care.